The sky above was not blue, it was burning gold. Commander Jace Rourke lay half-buried in alien sand, the wreck of his ship smoldering behind him. His helmet display blinked a dozen warnings: oxygen minimal, systems offline, distress beacon weak. He spat blood and sand and dragged himself upright, staring out at a horizon filled with jagged rock spires that looked like spears thrust up from the planet's core. He had survived worse, he thought. When he finally staggered down the slope, he saw movement, figures approaching. They weren't human. The beings that surrounded him were all women, tall, muscled, their skin a faint shade of bronze that shimmered under the suns. Their armor was made of bone and glowing crystal, their eyes glowed amber like molten glass. They spoke in a language that sounded like thunder. One of them, taller than the rest, stepped forward and pressed the tip of a spear to his throat. "Outsider," she hissed. "You bleed. You fall from the sky. You will fight, or you will die." Jace blinked. "Fight. I'm injured." She tilted her head, unimpressed. "Then die." The women formed a circle around him, chanting something low and rhythmic. One of them, a young warrior with scars like silver lightning on her arms, tossed him a crude blade. The crowd roared. It wasn't just a test. It was a ritual. Middle, the planet of trials. Over the next few days, Jace learned fragments of their tongue through mimicry and gestures. They called their world Tethra, and their people were Valkyrians, a warrior matriarchy where power and blood decided worth. Every bond, every union, even love itself, was earned through combat. A warrior woman could only claim a mate by defeating him or her in battle. Submission was not weakness here. It was sacred. When they realized Jace could fight, they stopped seeing him as prey and began seeing him as challenge. Every dawn, he was forced into the arena, a natural pit surrounded by towering cliffs. One by one, women came to test him. They fought with elegance and savagery, using crystal blades that hummed with plasma energy. Jace fought back with instincts honed from years as a Federation soldier, deflecting, dodging, outsmarting them. He never aimed to kill, but he always won. By the fifth day, whispers followed him through the camp. The Sky Male cannot be defeated. He fights without rage. He takes pain and returns honor. He had earned a strange kind of respect. But the peace didn't last. Her arrival. On the seventh day, the camp stirred as a war banner was raised, obsidian black with streaks of white fire. The warriors fell silent as a massive figure dismounted from a hovering beast. She was taller than all of them. Her armor was pure obsidian, etched with runes that pulsed faintly beneath her skin. Her hair, silver and bound in braids, reached her waist. The others bowed low and whispered her name with reverence and fear. Queen Nicera, warlord of Tethra. Her gaze found Jace immediately. She studied him as if dissecting prey. "So this is the male who defeats my daughters." Jace tried to stand tall despite his exhaustion. "I didn't come to fight your people. I crashed. I just want to leave." Nicera smirked. "Then you must earn the right. On Tethra, no being walks free unless they win their freedom or surrender it." The murmurs rose. Jace's translator crackled faintly as it picked up her final words. "You will fight me." The duel. At dawn, the camp gathered again. The air shimmered with heat and dust. Nicera entered the arena barefoot, her eyes glowing like burning metal. Jace felt every instinct scream, "Don't do this," but he had no choice. She threw him a spear. "Fight." Their weapons clashed, the sound like metal thunder. Nicera moved like a storm, faster, heavier, every strike calculated to test his limits. She wasn't just strong, she was ancient in skill. Her kind had been fighting before humans learned to walk. Jace ducked a blow, rolling in the sand, countered with a strike that cut through her guard, but she only smiled as the blade grazed her shoulder. Blood the color of liquid gold trickled down her skin. "Good," she said. "You fight with purpose. But not fury." He gritted his teeth. "I fight to survive." "That is not enough," she roared, slamming her fist into his chest so hard it cracked his armor. "Fight because you feel. Because you are." Rhys gasped, pain flaring across his ribs. He staggered back, panting. His vision blurred. He lunged again, striking with desperation, but she met every move with elegance. Finally, she swept his legs out from under him and pinned him with the blunt of her weapon across his throat. The crowd roared her name. But instead of finishing him, she hesitated. "Why don't you fight back?" she asked softly. "Because," he rasped, "I don't want to hurt you." That stopped her cold. For a heartbeat, the arena fell silent. Then, Nicera's expression changed, something between confusion and awe. Slowly, she removed the spear from his throat and stood. "Strange creature," she murmured. "You win by losing." After the battle, the bond. He woke later inside a tent of woven crystal sheets. His ribs were bandaged with cloth that smelled of smoke and spice. Nicera was there, sitting beside him, her weapon resting on her knees. "You fight without anger," she said. "That is rare among your kind. You've met humans before?" Her gaze darkened. "Long ago. They came with fire and machines. They killed our young, took our land. Your scent reminds me of them." She touched the scar on her shoulder. "That is why I feared you." He sat up slowly. "I'm not them. I never wanted this." Nicera studied him for a long moment, then nodded. "Perhaps the stars send balance in strange forms." Over the following days, she visited him often. They spoke more, he through his translator, she through patience. She showed him the way her people bonded to the desert, how every life lost was returned to the sand as crystal dust. He helped her repair damaged energy conduits from an ancient satellite, using his human tech to restore what their kind had forgotten. He realized something strange. Beneath her warrior shell, Nicera was curious, lonely, even. She had lost countless soldiers in the endless tribal wars that shaped her world. Power had become her only companion. One night, as the twin moons hung low, she asked, "Would you have killed me, if you could?" He looked at her glowing eyes. "No. I would have tried to understand you." She smiled faintly. "That is why you lost, and why I cannot forget you." The escape and the choice. Weeks passed. His distress beacon finally reached the edge of Federation space. Rescue was coming. When Rhys told her, Nicera said nothing for a long time. Finally, she rose and handed him a crystal shard. It glowed faintly blue, humming in his hand. "It will guide you to the edge of the sands," she said. "Beyond lies your sky." He frowned. "You're letting me go?" "You earned your freedom," she said simply. "But remember, human Tethra remembers those who fight with honor." He hesitated, staring at her. "Come with me. There's room on the rescue craft." Nicera's eyes softened, then hardened again. "My place is here. My people need a queen, not a ghost chasing stars." He nodded, knowing there was nothing more to say. As he walked away, the desert wind howled behind him like a farewell. When he reached the canyon ridge, he turned back. She stood where he had left her, silhouetted against the golden dunes, the light of twin suns burning around her form like a living flame. He realized something then. She hadn't feared him.